Folks, changes are coming to the staff for the New York Jets around Aaron Glenn. Offense, defense, who could be fired still? We have some insider updates to get to. Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, starts right now.
I'm going to lose my gosh-darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this shit.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily. This is a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. We're here on a Thursday, January 8th. I'd like to do a quick shout-out, a happy birthday to my brother. You guys have never met him on this show, but happy birthday to Nick, or Nicholas, whichever you prefer. Shout-out to my bro. Happy birthday, bro. And have a great day. There it is. A big happy birthday shout out to my brother. There we go. Wanted to start off the show like that. By the way, we've got some firings to talk about that are looming. Some changes to the staff. We'll talk about all of it. There's all the details in the article in the YouTube description down below if you guys would like to jump ahead on today's festivities. We'll also open up the phone lines later in the show and a grand return. A regular to the Boy Green Coffee Club in terms of a guest is scheduled to return today after a long hiatus. So I'm very much excited about that as well. So terrific. But before we get to all that, I see we have memberships raining in, baby. Yes, spreading the love of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Our number one Austrian Jet fan says, yes, please. Those lovely chimes. I'm looking forward to hearing those a lot this offseason, baby. Our number one Austrian Jet fan just gifted a Boy Green Coffee Club membership and surged into first place in our raffle prize this month with 11, count them, 11 raffle tickets. Terrific. Thank you, our number one Austrian Jets fan. We'll get more into our prize pack for this month a little later. Dan Akustif, Daz Akustif. You are now a member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Shout out to our number one Austrian Jet fan, baby. Yes, sir. Thank you, Austrian. Thanks for sharing. So let's get into it. Lots of changes are expected to come. But no, not this change. I saw this comment earlier. Who is this? Oh, yeah, Jet Jaro. Let's get to you, buddy. Morning. I wake up every day praying to hear the New York Jets have fired Aaron Glenn. Well, Jet Jaro, your prayers have not been answered. And quite frankly, they're unlikely to be answered. So. Yesterday, I told you, we talked about the whole John Harbaugh thing earlier this week. Connor Hughes came out and emphatically said the Jets have zero interest in John Harbaugh. So if they have zero interest in John Harbaugh, who's this highly attractive candidate, then, well, Aaron Glenn ain't going nowhere, Jet Jar. I'm so sorry to be the bearer of bad news in that department. But here we are. Hey, look at this, baby. Someone just hit the re-sign button in the Boy Green Coffee Club. It is our boy Nanga Iboko. Nanga has taken his life into his own hands. He's not waiting for a membership to be gifted from someone else. He says, you know what? I'm going to punch my own ticket to the coffee club. That's what I'm talking about, baby. It's currently the pinned comment right now on youtube.com/boygreen25. Thank you, Nanga, and welcome back, brother. That's a raffle ticket to our contest this month, of course. So let's freaking go. Guys, we have a lot of prizes every single month on this channel, and to be eligible for said prizes, all you have to do is spend $3 on the channel. And if you join the Boy Green Coffee Club, that's a raffle ticket. Nanga's up to 2 raffle tickets this month. Appreciate you, buddy. And that's how you do it. So beautiful. Thank you, Nanga. And welcome back, baby. So let's get into it, folks. Oh, wait, before we do, Mac Attack says, good morning, BG. I just got my mug and t-shirt from the brand new Boy Green coffee, the Boy Green merch shop, down below, which one quick more detour. Again, if you guys want to skip ahead, you can read the article in the YouTube description down below, so I'm not cheating you out of it. But we do actually, and Mahar, feel free to send pictures with you and the gear. I'd love to see it on any social media platform. Feel free to send it in. But we'll also have it because my old man, my pop, ordered some action from the Boy Green merch shop. That's all in the, if anyone wants to purchase anything, it's always in the YouTube description down below. It says brand new Boy Green merch shop. You just click that link, go right to it. We got t-shirt, we got mugs in there. So make sure you check it on out and take full advantage, baby. We'll pull it up here in a minute that my pop posted some of the photos of his brand new merch. It got in there on Discord. Our Discord is one of the perks of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Make sure you guys take full advantage. I'll bring that up here in just a few minutes. But and thank you, Mahar, for all the support. That's awesome. All right, now let's get into the staff changes that are coming for the New York Jets and the ones that are not coming for the New York Jets. Both critically important. So people who could be fired, people who could be hired, and people who are safe. So there's a little bit of everything here on the channel. So let's get into it here. Here, and if I think whether you are an Aaron Glenn supporter or not, the words that are about to come out of my mouth should be positive news. If you don't believe in Aaron Glenn, okay, some of the changes he's making should be an encouraging sign to you out in the audience. If you do believe in Aaron Glenn, I don't think anyone who believes in Aaron Glenn believes everything is hunky-dory, right? The Jets were 3-14, for God's sake. So I'm not saying everything Aaron Glenn did was perfect and he did all these wonderful things. I've explained my position in the past. The point, what I'm trying to say is, no matter, I want Aaron Glenn back, and he's coming back, but he can't just run it all back the same. He's got to make changes, and changes are coming. And so I think this is encouraging news, whether you're an Aaron Glenn supporter or not. This is from Zach Rosenblatt on Jets Final Drive, the SNY digital product. He says, I think they're not done firing guys. Here are some of the guys that could be out. Zach Rosenblatt said, I would be surprised if quarterbacks coach Charles London returned. Now, I'm going to stop real quick before we get to any other names. This is one of the most critically important hires for the New York Jets this offseason, or replacements, however you want to perceive it. That Zach doesn't expect him back anywhere on the staff. Great, because he's a running back. He's a former college running back that was a longtime running backs coach that just randomly 5 years ago said, yeah, I'm going to be a quarterback coach. And God bless him, several teams hired him for that role. But it made no sense for the Jets. Made no sense. We tried to make it make sense. Oh, running backs coach, Justin Fields like to run the football. Oh, maybe that'll sort of work, but it didn't. It was a disaster. Every quarterback that played was a disaster. Brady Cook was last in grade and EPA per play by a mile. He was dead last in the National Football League. So Brady Cook stunk, Justin Fields stunk, and even Tyrod wasn't that great, to be honest. He was better than the other two, but that's not really saying much, now is it? So the fact that it sounds like Charles London is out of here, God bless America. Woohoo! Excellent news. It sounds like. It's not official yet, but it sounds like he's going to be out. Now, the key will be who is he replacing him with? But again, it's going to be pretty hard to be worse, if we're being candid. It's going to be pretty hard to be worse, to be honest, with everything that's going on. So Charles London, see ya. That's great news. Again, Zach Rosenblatt would be surprised if he comes back. Another one, and this one sort of hurts me because I like the guy, but this is a results-oriented business, man. Aaron Curry. He's a former bust in the National Football League. He was a top 5 pick out of Wake Forest by Seattle. And I thought Aaron was going to be really good in the league, and he flamed out very quickly. He turned his flame out of a career into a coaching career. And when the Jets hired him, I said, oh, that's intriguing. A guy who played in the league. Like, okay, that's going to be cool. And our linebackers played like dump this year. I mean, it was terrible. Jamin Sherwood was awful for most of the year before turning it around late, but, too little, too late. And then Quincy's going to be out of here, and he was playing terrible, and he seemingly questioned the staff, so that's no good. Francisco Mauigoa had moments, but they were just moments. Marcelino McCurry ball and the flopping on the deck like a fish, like all of it was just bad. So, hey, I don't blame, quite frankly, I don't blame a lot of the changes that are coming on defense as is. So it's hard to dive in front of a bullet for Aaron Curry, I'm afraid. It was putting from the rough. So Zach Rosenblatt would be surprised if Aaron Curry returned. And here's another one to keep an eye out for. And I had not heard these kind of issues. But Rosenblatt says, keep an eye on defensive line coach Eric Washington. And while Zach Rosenblatt was bringing up Eric Washington on Jets' final drive, Connor Hughes cut him off and said, let me get this quote correct. I'll just tell you, players had issues with him. And then Zach Rosenblatt goes back and says, well, I was going to say something like that, but you cut right to the chase. Connor Hughes responded, I'll just tell you, don't round about it. Players had issues with him. So apparently Eric Washington, who's a longtime veteran coach in the National Football League, rubbed people the wrong way. And let's be honest, the defensive line stunk for the most part. Juwan Briggs showed some moments. Harrison Phillips was fine. Who else am I missing? Will McDonald, while he had 8 sacks, all those came in 3 games. So he had a 4-sack game, 2-sack game, and 4 games. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So Will McDonald had a rough year. Jermaine had a rough year. Again, I give Jermaine Johnson some grace. He's coming off a torn Achilles, for God's sakes. But the defensive line was a disaster. So yeah, they want Eric Washington gone, and he's having problems with the players. Okay, well that's more than enough of a reason. Get the hell out of here, buddy. Rosenblatt continued saying, quote, I think there's going to be a pretty decent amount of changes, and you might see some additions on both sides of the ball in terms of veteran voices being brought in here. And by the way, that's totally copacetic with me. Now, AG was non-committal when they did their end-of-season press conference on coaching staff changes, but I think, as I've explained before, I think context is important. Darren Mucci sort of laid out each day what their schedule is. Hey, we're doing player exit interviews on this day. We're doing player exit interviews on this day. Coach staff eval on this day and this day and this day. So I don't imagine the changes until in this part of the week, today, tomorrow, the weekend, beginning of next week, where we're seeing guys shuffling out and guys shuffling in. I think that's when we're going to see it, quite frankly, in terms of the context. There seems to be additions coming. And that's something that Connor Hughes brought up. Quote, I think it's very clear that additional staff changes are coming. I think they're going to shake up the offensive staff, but Tanner Engstrand is safe. I don't think he's going to be gone. This is a quote from Connor Hughes. Doubt that, but I think they'll probably add in a veteran or somebody of that nature. But who knows? Maybe Woody Johnson pushes forth and says, hey, we want a complete and total change, and Tanner's out as well. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think you will see people added there. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN added to that report, saying he believes our boy Tanner is going to be safe, saying, quote, status quo on the Jets coaching staff as of Tuesday night. The team is wrapping up exit meetings, and the coaches are expected to meet mid to late week. My early sense is the Jets will keep offensive coordinator Tanner Engstrand, but staff change on offense could be on the way. Anything is possible after a truly horrific passing performance. So I think there are multiple things here we could say about Tanner in terms of the job security of the staff. Are Tanner's numbers good? No. Candidly, they're not. But he had net negative quarterback play. I mean, Brady Cook was awful. Justin Fields was awful. And Tyrod, like I said, was an improvement over the other two, but that's more saying something about the other two than him. And so, but there were concepts and there were things, there were moments throughout the season where you're like, I sort of see it here with Tanner, but the quarterbacks suck. Good quarterback maybe results in better action for Tanner. But what I do want is people surrounding him, because that was he just completed, his first year as an NFL play caller at this level. He had never done that previously. So that's something I want to see as well. And when I just pull up the Jets coaching staff in general, let's just pull up the whole boot and caboodle from their website. We can walk through the guys that are safe and not safe, or shouldn't be, quite frankly, from that perspective. So we should look at some of that here on the program as we're pulling this staff up. So let's make sure we do so here on the show. We'll also get into your comments here on the program as well. All of that is certainly welcome. And yes, the graphic that Jared B., our moderator, just texted me is what is also in my latest column for heavy.com, but I'll bring it up here on the show. Let me pull this from my article and this tweet of how bad Brady Cook is. Not that you need a graph to probably tell you that, but just in case, if that's sort of your vibe. why this is a disaster for Brady Cook, and why it's, again, sort of hard to judge how poorly Tanner Angstrand performed or looked. So here's the graph. I'm about to throw it up here on the screen. Thank you, Jared B., for sending this over. And like I said, this is also my latest column for Heavy that just dropped earlier this morning. But this is pretty damning. I'm not going to lie. This is again, final regular season quarterback grade and EPA per play. So this is just a beautiful chart to illustrate the suckage that has occurred this season. Let's throw this up real quick before we get more into the coaching staff. Here it is. Yeah, this is gross. I'm not going to lie. Here you go. Here's the charts. Okay, you see this chart here. All right. I feel like I'm back in college. I'm doing a presentation. So you see all these names, and you see that line that's diagonal across your screen. There's all kinds of quarterbacks. Drake Mays there at the top. Matt Stafford running for MVP. And then if I can highlight your attention to the bottom left of your graphic, yep, just scroll in there. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There's one name down there. Yodele, yee-hoo. Oh, yes, that's B. Cook. Brady Cook. Yeah. As Jay Reeves, 3 Sips says, let Brady cook. Cook he has. Cook he has. Wow. All the way down there. I mean, that's a significant gap. Who's the next closest? Shadur Sanders. And there's a couple miles between Shadur Sanders and Brady Cook on this graphic. Again, it just goes to show for our audio-only listeners, Brady Cook finished dead last in overall quarterback grade and EPA per play. So that's just some funky analytics to tell you he sucked, which, really isn't that surprising. So, but yikes. So again, long story short, it's hard to judge Tanner, so I have no problem with Tanner coming back, but there's got to be other offensive staff changes around him for certain. Specifically, quarterback coach, it feels like a very, very, very important hire. We got a super chat coming in here. Again, super chats are welcome. Raffle tickets for our contest. We'll highlight more of that coming up in a little bit. Joe the Jet 6550, baby. Let's go.
Wow.
Thank you, Joe the Jet, for your contributions. Very much appreciated. Thank you kindly. We'll add this to your raffle ticket total so far this month. Which, by the way, as I'm counting it up here, you have 3 raffle tickets to our contest, Joe. So thank you for the super chats. Or, excuse me, you have more than that, excuse me. Let me get that back up for you, Joe. That is 4 more raffle tickets. You have 5 raffle tickets to our contest. Apologies. Let me get this up. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Is Dante going to avoid the Jets, or is this just media trying to get clicks? By the way, I want Glenn to succeed, but I'm not going full Jake Asman, screaming for him to be fired. By the way, it was Boy Green versus Jake Asman on our MC Show digital channel yesterday. Me and Jake went back and forth. Jake was in disbelief that I was supporting Aaron Glenn. I told him some reasons I was supporting Aaron Glenn. He didn't seem to like them, and we went back and forth. So if that entertains you, feel free to check it out on the MC Show digital channel. But let's answer this, okay? Is Dante going to avoid the Jets? I see this spoken about on every show in the universe. Stephen A. Smith, Todd McShay, and they go through the roundabout way. I don't know if I can say this any more bluntly, Joe the Jet, and hopefully this answers your question to an emphatic degree. NIL has certainly changed an equation for people to be able to get money. Now, let's not be naive. People were getting duffel bags of money before, but it was, in a back alley. It wasn't happening the way, straight and narrow. But the fact of the matter is this. Dante Moore, can he get decent money at NIL? I would imagine so, for a big-time college program like Oregon and things of that nature. But if it's a money thing, the NFL wins, okay? From all accounts, and we'll actually do another show on this week. It may come tomorrow. We'll see. But if Dante Moore enters the draft, right? And he's the number 2 overall pick, which by all draft experts that they tell me, outside of a few, which again could be another show later this week, that Dante Moore is worthy of a top 3 pick. and thus top 2, because like the Jets would take him at 2. So draft experts tell me, again, I'm not a draft expert. I really enjoy the draft, and I'm an enthusiast of the draft, but I don't consider myself a draft expert. There are people that dedicate tape, time, film all year long to do that, and we bring them on the show to help us learn better. So I'm not saying Dante Moore is worth top 2 or top 3. I don't know. But very smart people, a lot smarter than me, say he is. I trust their opinions, and they say he is. So if he's worth a top 2 or 3 pick, and he gets taken in the top 2 or 3 as expected, he is going to get a $50 million contract, give or take, because it's projections with the draft, but there's slotted contracts. So he's going to get $50 million, and basically for the rookies, those are fully guaranteed deals, basically. So Dante Moore's choice is this, and this is why he's obviously coming out, in my opinion, or he's got really bad people advising him. So the money is there, $50 million. And if he appears to be the number 2 overall pick, which it seems like he is basically a lock to be, unless the Jets don't like him, and in that case, they trade it to someone else who would take him with the number 2 overall pick. What's the point of going back to school if you're Dante Moore? Well, it can't be improving your draft stock. What more can you do than number 2 overall? Number 1 overall? And next year's class is even stronger at quarterback. So does Dante Moore really believe he's going to be an Arch Manning, Julian Sand, and all these other top-flight quarterbacks? Maybe, but that's risky. So you're doing it from what? To improve from 2 to 1? And I have a spoiler alert for Dante Moore. Spoiler alert. The team that's picking number 1 overall is also going to suck. There are very rare situations where the Chiefs are picking 9th overall in this draft where they're top 10. Very rare situations where the Rams have like this top 12 pick because of the Falcons, and great organizations have these top picks. Very rare. Normally, they stink. Obviously, they got the pick for stinking this past year. Again, rare situations where that isn't the case. Okay? So he can't really improve his draft stock. From 2 to 1, maybe, if he thinks that could even happen. More likely than not, he would hurt said draft stock and get less money, because he would go from 2 to maybe 5 or 10 or 15, or God forsaken, Matt Barkley. We bring up those examples from a couple years ago. He was a top 5 pick, went back to school, and then he was a 4th rounder, 5th rounder, and then his entire journey of his NFL career changed. So when we're talking about the pros and cons of going back, the pro of coming in is that you get $50 million. You're the number 2 overall pick, and then you're off to the races. And if you're a halfway decent quarterback for the Jets in this particular scenario, then you're another year closer to the next big contract that you get re-signed to, which is even more money. The fact of the matter is, one of the strong takes that callers have to this show of, oh man, Dante Moore has to go back to school, or analysts that say it, is Dante Moore should try to get better in college. Is he ready for the moment? Mel Kiper talked about that yesterday on their First Draft podcast. There's no guarantee you get better. There's all kinds of quarterbacks that went back to school and they just don't get better. They are the same or worse. They show flaws that they didn't show before, and teams go, oh, and then their draft stock falls. So normally it's all bad. So long story short, to me, Joe the Jet, to answer your $10 super chat, I don't think Dante Moore is going to try to avoid the Jets. I don't understand the narrative. I did a show on this a few days ago on the Todd McShay thing. The Raiders, and I'm just going to pick on them because they pick ahead of the Jets and they're projected to take a quarterback. No one is giving shit to the Raiders, and I don't understand why. I've got a lot of Raiders friends, Mo Moten, who's joined the show several times. So, again, this isn't meant to shit on the Raiders, but the Raiders are my target. They're ahead of the Jets. They've had 6 coaches in 6 years. And the last 2 of which were one and done. You had Antonio Pierce and Pete Carroll. Boom, boom. One and done. Yeah, that sounds like a real stable organization. 6 years, 6 coaches. Sure. Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. The last time they took a quarterback in the first round was Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell, in number 1 overall pick, 2007, is considered one of the biggest busts in NFL history. Not just Raiders history, NFL history. Yet they're the stable organization. That should come. Oh, okay. Right. Sure. Oh, they have Tom Brady. Oh, okay. Who's a minority owner? What? How does it? Is he hopping on the field? Oh, no. What does that even mean? That Tom Brady's there? How is it suddenly more attractive? I don't know. Maybe the perception, I guess, but what does that even mean? He's not getting down on the field. It's about the coaching staff. It's about the team. It's about the organization. So everyone's saying, "Oh, the Jets suck. Stay away from them," but no one's saying stay away from the Raiders. As a matter of fact, Todd McShay said the opposite. He didn't just say avoid the Raiders. He said go to the Raiders and make sure you're the number one pick. And if they tell you no, then go back to school. What an idiot. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And I feel bad saying that because I would love – I loved watching Todd McShay growing up with him and Mel Kiper, and I'd love to have him on the show. But, like, come on, Todd. What's up with this ridiculous nonsense? Come on now. This is crazy. So, absolutely bizarre. So I think it's just media noise, to be honest. The Jets are sexier to pick on than the Raiders, I assume, or the Cardinals that no one gives a shit about, right? With all due respect, Cardinals fans out there, is that the Jets are a needle mover. People love making fun of the Jets. They're the class clown. They've done themselves little to no favors with all their losing and things of that nature. But no, they're the class clown. Everyone loves making fun of, them. So that's sort of where I'm at from there as well. But I appreciate Joe the Jet. A good super chat coming in here. Let's see. There's another super chat here. We'll also open up the phone lines here in a few minutes. We'll also have, again, the return of a special guest. That should be happening here. All right, Mahar Khalil, another super chat here on the show.
Wow.
All right, let's get to this one here on the show. Actually, 1 second, folks. Let me do this. Let's play a quick Hep thing, and we'll be right back.
Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily. Talking just football, man. Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green.
Yeah, shout out to Hep there. Sorry about that, folks. Quick technical issue. Had to fix that real quick. All right, let's get back to your super chat, Mahar Khalil. $4.99 super chat. Jet fans need to remember that AG and Moochie Bush started the offseason late. This time they were ahead of the 8 ball. So this is an interesting note to make. I saw Zach Rosenblatt write some of this in his piece. So I appreciate that, Mahar. And let's, again, add that to your super chat total so far this month. Appreciate it. There you go, baby. You're up to 6 raffle tickets for a contest. We'll highlight our raffle contest in a second. So, yes, it is. And Zach did a nice job sort of highlighting this in his story. Of course, AG was with the Lions. They were in the playoffs. They were doing all these things. So they were introduced later. And thus, all the turnaround of getting your staff together, the combine, free agency, the draft, and all that stuff. That is the positive of continuity. When you change staffs, you have to go through rounds of interviews, and then once you hire your head coach, he's got to hire his full staff, and then you got to get ready for free agency, and then there's the combine, then there's the draft. And I'm saying some of these things out of order, but right, it is an absolute cavalcade of action. Now, the thing is, every team has to deal with this, so it's not like the Jets are unique to this disadvantage, potentially. But yes, I think, Mahar, to your point, that's an encouraging sign for this offseason, is that whether you believe the Jets plan or not, right? Like there's someone, Jet Jaro earlier said, I pray to the gods, please, Aaron Glenn get fired. Like, again, that just, it seems incredibly unlikely. And quite frankly, almost 0% that that's going to happen this offseason. So for Jet Jar and others, you can fan how you want to fan. But what I would suggest is let's turn it forward and say, okay, the Jets have a plan, and now they have time. They have a runway here. It's January 8th today. The scouting combine is a month and let me get my math right, a month and 2 weeks away. So you're a month and a half away from the combine. And then about 2 weeks after that is free agency. And then about a month and a week or two after that is the draft. So they just have a lot of runway to do what they want to do. So hopefully the key is using the time wisely. Everyone has the same amount of time in this world. We all have the same amount of time. I have the same amount of time. You have the same amount of time. Now, of course, we have a lot of stuff to fill said time. Sleep, work, eat, this, that, responsibilities. your kid's theater play, your kid's soccer game, right? We all have things that eat up our time and fill up our time. Time is a valuable resource, and we all have the same amount of it. But the key is that they maximize their time. And again, the only thing we can do is hope and pray to the sweet lords above that they do. Darren Mucci, like I said, his opening statement for the end of season presser was explaining their very thorough process the next couple of days, and hopefully they come to some clear conclusions. Again, I like this show so far. I like that I'm hearing about the potential coaching staff changes, both additions and stripping away, firings, whatever you want to call it. I'm encouraged by the people they're picking. I'm like, yeah, that was a problem. Well, that was a problem. Well, that was a problem. There haven't been any where they may fire a guy. I'm like, oh, wait, that guy? Are you sure? Like quarterbacks coach, our quarterbacks are terrible. Our linebackers coach, our linebackers are terrible. Our defensive line coach, our defensive line was terrible. I've got no real issues with any of this, outside of maybe a personality here or two that I like. But this isn't a charity business. This is about nuts and bolts, who can do the job, who can't do the job, bluntly. And, well, it looks like some of these guys can't do the job. So Mahar, to an overall point, yes, that is an advantage to this offseason that did not exist in previous seasons, or previous year, last year, excuse me, that hopefully they can execute said plan. That they have a plan, they can execute it. That's what we're hoping for sure. By the way, I want to throw this out there in the universe because there's a lot of Jet fans. As we're waiting our special guest who should be joining us any moment. If that does not happen for any unfortunate reason, we will just go to the phone lines instead on this show. This will not be a 2.5-hour show today, just a quick heads up. We won't be able to go long. As a matter of fact, we'll be going shorter, but we will take phone calls and things of that nature. We'll try to do that here on the show. We have some other interviews to take place, which I think you guys will appreciate. But the one thing, and I don't like fear-mongering or things of that nature, but this was just part of my story I just wrote, so I do want to sort of throw it out in the universe, is that there's some Jet fans, I don't know what the percentage is. I mean, we did a poll, I guess, and like 70% of the Jet fans wanted John Harbaugh. He's not coming here. And we're not going to get him. But there's a chance that one or two of our AFC East rivals gets him. So right now, there is no vacancy at head coach, technically, in the AFC East. The Bills have Sean McDermott. The Patriots have Mike Vrabel, who's in the playoffs. Bills are in the playoffs. And then you have the Dolphins, who right now have Mike McDaniel. There is a chance that changes, folks. There's a chance that changes. Apparently, according to NFL insider Josine Anderson, we haven't had her on in a while. We'll have to get her on at some point this offseason. The Dolphins have a quote-unquote affinity for one John Harbaugh. And they have moved through their GM search very quickly. They have GM finalists. One of their general manager finalists is a name Jet fans should remember. It's Chad Alexander. Do you guys remember Chad Alexander? He was here for, 5 years as a director of pro personnel. He was a Joe Douglas guy. Before coming over here with Joe, he was with Joe as well with the Baltimore Ravens. Chad Alexander spent 20 years with the Ravens. He crossed over during that time with John Harbaugh. He's currently crossing over with John's brother, Jim Harbaugh, with the Chargers. Smart on Chad, who sort of, I assume, smelled the blood in the water and left the Jets a year early to go get a job with the Chargers when the Joe Douglas was reshuffling his staff. And he just knew that this ship was going downhill. And I can't blame him. And he got his job there with the Chargers as an assistant GM, continuing to progress his career. And now he's a finalist for the Dolphins general manager job, it looks like. He could reunite with John Harbaugh in Miami. That's possible. That's a potential. Again, I don't normally like to fearmonger, but there's some whispers about that in the social media streets. And here's another one. What if the Bills lose this weekend to the Jaguars? Which, by the way, I've got to make my picks tomorrow. There's a strong chance I'm picking Jacksonville. And not just for Bills hate, although that's always good. Jacksonville is playing some good football, man. And the last time Buffalo went down to Jacksonville for a playoff game, they lost. Old Tyrod Taylor back in 2017, I believe it was. when they ended the 17-year playoff draft. They lost, I believe it was 9-6 to the Jaguars. Hopefully it's more entertaining than that. But if they lose, do the Bills not one and done? Well, the Bills would be one and done themselves. Do they fire Sean McDermott and go after John Harbaugh? Does that happen? Oh, boy. You never know. So John Harbaugh, we may not get him for us, but he may be in that AFC East. Let's hope not. Let's hope the Giants, who apparently are the front runner for him, they secure the bag. And while it may be mildly annoying to you guys, who would you prefer? John Harbaugh with the Giants or John Harbaugh in your division? I can answer that one without a poll. I'd rather have him on the Giants. And if I see him as a crosstown guy, so be it. I don't want him in my friggin' division. Absolutely friggin' not. Even though there was all these kind of issues around it. So, yeah. I don't know about all that. Don't know about all that, folks. For sure. All right, let's do this. We're going to open up the phone lines. It looks like our special guest is at the very least held up, if not being able to show up today. So what we'll do is we'll open up the phone lines. We'll take your phone calls for a little bit. If our guest shows up, then we'll pause the phone call intake and then go to our guest. If not, we'll take phone calls for the rest of the show. We got 300 people in the room, folks, 300 people in the room, and it's split. We have 150 of those people on our YouTube channel. So, folks, make sure you like the video here on YouTube. That helps spread this Jets show to other Jets people in our audience. Something else I certainly want to do real quick is highlight the old merch shop here on the program. That's something I would like to do here is highlight the merch shop on the program from our Discord. Okay, where do we got? Yes, here we go. So I'm going to throw this up on the screen real quick. This is Pop with the brand new items from the merch shop. So if you guys have been wondering what these look like, I'll show this right now from our Discord here, which, by the way, is one of the perks of being in the Boy Green Coffee Club. Okay, here we go. All right, so there's Pop. Look at him. He's posing with the brand new Instant Coffee Club mug. Tip of the cap to, of course, AG. There you go. There's a Coffee Club mug. And then here is the T-shirt, the Instant Coffee Club T-shirt. Very nice, brand new T-shirt. And my Pop described it. Loves the athletic feel. It's sort of like one of those old Under Armour shirts. Sort of has that feel to it. So, folks, again, go down to the Boy Green merch shop down below and get your buy-in on and help support this program. Also, another quick note, I want to show you guys all the items for our raffle this month. This is one of our biggest raffles in terms of items. This is terrific. We've done jerseys before. We've done all kinds of fun stuff. But I really like this month's raffle because both of those items I just showed you from my Pop are in this raffle. We'll give you 2 items from our Boy Green merch shop. And we've got the Mint Flip coin. Comes with a certificate of authenticity from the National Football League, brand new Jets polo, brand new Jets rivalry hat, Boy Green Woody tailgate package, which includes that T-shirt on the screen, koozies, bottle openers, all kinds of stuff. And, like I said, all of these items as well from the Boy Green merch shop, both a shirt and a hat. So all of that is available. All you have to do to be eligible to win all of that, which we'll give away on February 1st, is spend $3 on the channel. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that little money sign. All options pop up. Super stickers, super chats, gift channel memberships, purchase a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. They're $3 a piece. I recommend every one of the Boy Green Coffee Club every month buys one item because if it or not buys one item, excuse me, buys one raffle ticket, which is $3. You probably have $3 on your couch for goodness sake. So you spend $3, you have a chance to win all those items. You want a chance. We've had months where people have won the entire prize pool with just one raffle ticket, $3. There have been people that spend tons of money, $50, $100, and sometimes they don't win. But the more raffle tickets you have, of course, that increases your chances. So make sure you guys like the video. And real quick, let me do another quick discount double check here on our current subscriber count as we continue to chase 10,000 subs, baby. That's what we're chasing. Again, that's sort of an arbitrary number I just sort of made up in my head when I first started this. So I thought would be a cool number to get to. And everything else after that is gravy. But we are currently loading. We're 4 people away, baby. 4 from 8,280. So help us get there, baby. Let's freaking go. We'll take a quick half time out and your phone calls next here on BGD, baby.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Boy Green, Bugging Daily, Bugging Daily, Bugging Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Bugging Daily, Bugging Daily, Bugging Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone,
J-E-T-S, Jets.
Boy Green, Bugging Daily, Bugging Daily, Bugging Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green, Bugging Daily, Bugging Daily, Bugging Daily. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green.
J-E-T-S, Jets.
Let's go!
We have a bunch of phone calls to get to. I saw this comment in here. I just want to highlight it real quick. Jesse Owen says, why can't we think we could get Harbaugh, but we think we could get Linderbaum? Besides the fact those two are Ravens, what the hell do those two things have to do with each other? That's unclear. Harbaugh, this world-renowned coach and a player, like players, money talks. Hey, C.J. Mosley. I love C.J. Mosley. Oh, captain, my captain. The Jets had to give him the richest contract for an off-ball linebacker of all time for him to come here. He didn't come here out of the goodness of his heart. And by the way, I got no shame, man. Get the money you could get. I enjoyed having C.J. Mosley here, but money talks. So if the Jets are willing to pay for Linderbaum, that might be. I've never met Linderbaum. I don't know what revs his engine, but money certainly revved the engine of C.J. Mosley. So the fact that we can't get Harbaugh, but some people think we can get Linderbaum, I don't think those two things are not mutually exclusive. Those two things have absolutely nothing to do with each other outside of the fact they're both Ravens, or one was a Raven. Yikes. Sorry. Prisoner of the, a little too soon on that, Harbaugh. A little too soon on that, Harbaugh. But no, I don't think those things have anything to do with each other. To the phone lines. Hep here on the show. What's up, Hep?
Hey guys, hey fellas.
Mhm.
I was wondering, in this draft coming up, I mean, I know the way to go about it, a lot of people just say best player available, and I'd like to really see an offensive draft, only because it's been so long since we've seen any good offense on our side of the ball, and it's just been so like a desert out there, man. And I'd like to see some excitement on that side of the ball. But we have such a depleted defense as well. I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, see, that's where I'm conflicted. So I'm with you. The part that I'm not conflicted on is if we had to lose, a gun was to my head that said, Paul, you're going to lose games anyway. I'm like, all right, well, that's not great, but okay. And they said, here's your choice: 6-3 or 45-40. Well, I mean, give me some, slap me around a little before you kill me. All right, yeah, let's make it a little exhilarating, sure. So, yeah, I have no problem with investing in offense, and for whoever the quarterback is, you want to invest around him. The fact that the Jets just draft terrible quarterbacks all the time and then they stink is one thing. But to draft a quarterback like Sam Darnold is a perfect example, right? So obviously it was somewhere in that body, and now the number one seed in the NFC. And again, I get it. It's not just him. They have a great defense and everything, but it was somewhere in that body. But one of the ways we failed Sam is not surrounding him with the proper stuff around him. I never want that to happen again. And so I want that to be a picture on the wall, something AG's looking at before he goes to sleep. For Darren Muji, I'm saying, if we fail a quarterback, it's good as this quarterback sucks. It's not because we didn't provide an offensive line. We didn't provide weapons. Like, I want the Jets to, coaching staff, all of the infrastructure, I want all that to be right. And even if all that's right, it doesn't guarantee it. Look at Trey Lance in San Francisco, right? They had the greatest coaching staff and all this town around. It didn't mean bupkis. He sucked. So it's still not perfect, but I want to make sure I could go to sleep at night, always knowing the Jets tried everything in their power. So that's the ghost pun intended, of Sam Darnold hanging around forever for me is motivation to never let that happen again. So while I think the supporting cast right now is better than all it's ever been for any of those other guys, I still think there's more improvement to be done. So I would love nothing more than to invest in offense. You won't hear me complain, another receiver, another this. What are we doing out there? Or what are we going to have too many weapons for a quarterback? That doesn't make any sense. So of course I'm all in. But then again, you say the other part of it. Jesus, I mean, this was one of the worst defenses of all time. But here's the thing: we have free agency. Let's come up with a plan and invest. I hope the plan includes a ton of aggressive defensive action in free agency. Let's get some proven bona fide guys, pass rushers and everything else. We'll do shows where we break down the free agent class. But yes, I would love to see nothing more than us to invest some friggin' resources into this offense. Let's score some points. Let's get a quarterback. That excites me.
Me too. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Hep. And great thoughts again on this offense defense thing for sure. Troy Sturgis with a question coming in here. BG, a question for the future. All right, sure. I love questions about the future. Thank you, Troy, for being a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club as well. Thank you. If AG doesn't work out this year, we have Mendoza. Would you consider hiring Josh McDaniels to take Mendoza to the next level and worsening New England? What do you think? Okay. Well, so in theory, what you say makes sense of taking something away from a rival that makes them good and bring it to you. However, there is an alarming amount of evidence that Josh McDaniels, well, quite frankly, just doesn't have the chops to be a head coach. I mean, he was a disaster with the Raiders. He was a disaster in Denver. And there's no lateral jumps that, well, let me not overstate. Lateral jumps don't happen in the NFL very often. And what I mean by that is Josh McDaniels is the offense coordinator of the Patriots. For the Jets say, hey, we don't want you as a head coach. We'd love you as an offensive coordinator. First off, the Patriots could block that action. The only unique loopholes are, for instance, a guy I would love for the Jets, Brian Flores. His contract expired, so he has been the defensive coordinator for the Vikings for the last 3 years, but he's a free agent right now. So technically, he could make the lateral jump of Vikings DC to Jets DC because he has no contract, so he can't be blocked from that activity. But in a normal sense, where McDaniels is under contract, no. That lateral jump can't happen. I don't even know how Josh feels about the Jets in general. But I like hurting New England. So your head's in the right place of like razor blades and lemon juice for the New England Patriots. So your head's in the right place, my man. But unfortunately not. I want no part of that disaster. 2 head coaching disasters is 2 more than I need. I'd rather go in a different direction. And maybe learn lessons from that, but I don't want to be the team that tests out that water, candidly. But it's an intriguing thought. It's off the wall. That's not something I've heard before. So way to mix it up, Troy. Way to mix it up. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here on the program. Up next, look, he's back, baby. It's James. What's up, James?
BG, what's up, brother, man?
What's going on?
All right. So I'm on the subway yesterday, right? And there's a guy with the Jet shirt on.
Okay.
So he seems to be getting off at the same stop I'm getting off. And I said, what's your opinion on AG?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, well, I can't stand the way he talks to the media. Why do people, maybe it's me, I don't know. Why do people give a shit how he talks to the media? Like, let's put it into this, I guess, perspective, right? Robert Saleh, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That guy wore knee pads to every press conference. He gave them everything they wanted. No matter if you're discontent with the media or you're very nice with the media, the proof is in the pudding. If you're a bad coach, you're going to get run out. It doesn't matter if you're giving them content or not content, but if you're giving them injury reports that you don't want out and things like that. For me personally, that doesn't bother me. That's just me. I don't know if it bothers you. I know it bothers a lot of other Jet fans, but to me, go ahead.
I would say on the bother thing, because I think you make a good point about Saleh, right? So he tried to give them all the shit that they wanted in the media, and they still wrote shitty stories about him. So it's not like it prevented the shitty stories. So that's the thing that sort of loses me here. I don't give a shit about Aaron Glenn's relative abrasiveness with the media.
Right.
Now, to me, it's about wins and losses. If he's
Of course.
winning, he's tough for the media. Well, look, what a great strategy. Look
Sure.
at whatever he's doing; it's working. And if they're losing, they just think he's a dick and that
Right.
he's just being disruptive. So I know a lot of people seem to focus on that. I don't know why fans would care if he's. To be honest, if I just not just talk about media, if I just like polled the fans, a lot of the fans don't like the media. So if AG's
Of
giving shit to the
course.
media, they're like, yeah, fuck the media, yeah, way to go, AG. I'd imagine that would rally the fans as opposed to turn them against him. But yeah, that's interesting.
You would think so. And another thing, like throughout the course of the year, the penalties were a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yep.
penalty, but as the year went on, I think they got fixed. The no interceptions is a problem, but that's a fluke. That's not,
Of course.
that's not going to happen again. There's no way. So yes, John Harbaugh, would I take him? Of course. Of course. But it's not gonna happen. It's a pipe dream. And we have to give him a chance. Who did we have? After we got rid of Quinnen and Sauce, they said to themselves, you know what? We're gonna ride it out. We're gonna see who we can keep for the future. And then we're gonna move on and go from there. We have so much capital, so many draft picks. I'm not giving up on him. I can't listen to the whole get rid of AG after 1 year. This is what we do. This is our problem. It's microwave. We want everything right now. We haven't been successful, so we're used to it. So let's just ride this out at least with him 1 more year and see what happens. That's my thing. But it's all about.
Yeah, I appreciate it, James.
Yeah,
Thanks for the call,
absolutely.
man. Yeah, there he is, James. Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at here, folks. The fact of the matter is the Jets are not changing coaches from AG, and for any of you that tried to do it, God bless you. That tried to change Woody's opinion by tweeting at him and petitions and whatever you guys are doing out there. Hey, I love that you have the freedom to be able to do that. Go to town. If that revs your engine, God bless America. But obviously, it didn't work, and AG's coming back. Now, you fans that were hating AG, and again, I'm not blaming you for hating him if you did or didn't. I'm just saying now you have two paths, fans out there that wanted AG to be fired. You can stay in your lane and just say, you know what, I hate this AG guy. See ya. I don't want him. I'm not gonna root for him. Not gonna do nothing. You just keep going down that path, and you'll do that. Or you could flip to the other side and say, you know what, I didn't want AG here, but damn it, I want him to turn this thing around. I'm going to provide my support. I'm going to provide my fandom. I'm going to try to encourage this team to turn it around, and that's what I'm going to do. That's your two paths, Jet fans, that did not want AG. Because, again, he's not being changed. No matter how much you wish it at night, no matter what voodoo dolls you have at your house, it's just not going to happen. So now what are you going to do with your life? Now what are you going to do? To me, I want to control things. It's like when people say to me, I make this comparison. People say, it's the owner's the problem, Paul. It's the owner. If we change the owner, we change everything. Well, okay. Do you have a way to change the owner? Oh, no? Then I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to come on this show and yell till I'm blue in the face saying, it's the owner. He's the problem. I hate this owner. The thing this owner does is unbelievable. I don't want this owner. We don't control who the owner is. He's the owner. So hopefully we can win through it. We can traverse these waters and find a way to do it. That's what I hope. I'm not going to waste breath talking about signing petitions to change the owner. It's not changing. And to be honest, when it ever changes, it's changing from Woody to Brick. The Johnson family's running this thing until some other information comes through. So I'm not going to waste my time doing it. If you guys want to, go ahead. I don't. We can all do what we want. We're all individual people that make individual decisions. I'm just not going to I'm just not going to do it. So again, same thing, but right church, different pew. Okay. So what the ownership ain't going to change. So I'm going to leave Woody where he is. And then on the AG thing, it sounds like he's here. So I'm not going to keep yelling to fire him. They're not going to fire him. So instead, we'll shift focus and try to see if we can, and it can work out. Let's hope it works out. And then, next year we're talking about other wonderful things instead of coaching changes. That's where I hope I'm at personally. Like the video, folks. Let's head back to the phone lines. Mr. Famous Fulton is up next.
Morning, Paul.
Top of the morning to you, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing swell. Yourself?
Yeah, doing all right. Got a busy schedule this month.
Oh, congratulations. That's probably
Yeah,
that's
thank
got to be
you.
good news, I imagine. Yeah.
Yep. I got. I'm supposed to go with my grandpa Kelly on Saturday. Go to
Ooh.
my first IU basketball game.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So we're gonna enjoy that, and
I have some advice, Mr. Famous Fulton.
yeah, go ahead, Paul. Right ahead.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Have you ever heard that?
A little bit.
Okay, well, now you got it. Okay. Just remember that when you're at that basketball game, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah, exactly. I need to get my shots in for basketball practice tomorrow.
100%. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Okay. What else is on? What else is on the docket?
Well, I have training for life for Special Olympics. I got a Zoom call on the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be my half birthday. And then on the 26th, I'll be on American Idol at 8:00.
Wow, great. Okay, I love that show.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I got to go to California to do America's Got Talent.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome, Mr. Famous Fulton.
Yeah. Yep.
Man. Well, I hope you hit it big, brother, because you deserve it.
And you know what I want to say, Paul?
What's that?
Go Hoosiers!
Yeah, there we go, baby. Screw the Ducks. Those bastards.
Yeah, screw the Ducks. We want the Hoosiers.
Yeah, there we go. Good luck
Do
to
you
your
think?
Hoosiers. Yeah,
Do you think, Paul?
Yeah.
That if the Hoosiers win, what would your score predictor be for the Hoosiers?
Well, let me see. What was the score of the first one? Let me see. Indiana, Oregon, regular season 2025 game. What was that? Let me see. 30-20. 30-20 was the one from earlier this season. I'll go give me 28-25.
28-25.
That's
for
it.
Hoosiers.
Write that down.
And hopefully the Hoosiers could go to the championship because they need to win big and everything. And it's because I know Mendoza is pretty good quarterback.
Yeah,
with his brothers, so they're both brothers. So.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yep. So.
I appreciate that. Well, Mr. Famous Fulton, good luck. I hope you and your girlfriend have a great time at the IU game. Hoosiers, Hoosiers, Hoosiers.
Actually, I'm going with my grandpa for IU game.
Oh, grandpa. Okay, well, Gramps. Yes. Okay, Gramps, let's go. That's even better. Terrific.
I'll let you know how it goes on Monday.
Please do. Thanks, brother. You have a great day.
You're welcome. You too.
There he is, Mr. Famous Fulton. I see we got a super chat in here. We are graced by royalty, folks. It's Jake Asman, baby. Look at this. Nice.
Wow.
This was not the guest I was referencing earlier, but yes, what a lovely surprise. The one and only Jake Asman here on the program. Me and Jake were chatting it up yesterday on the MC Show digital channel. That was a real hoot. So shout out to that conversation. Thank you, Jake. We'll add this to raffle total prize. I appreciate that. And Jake's comment, of course.
Wow.
What, Jake Ashman continues to ask us, what does Aaron Glenn do well as head coach? A very pressing question. I'm glad that you asked it, Jake. I'm glad that you asked it. One of the things that I believe that, Jake, you did not appreciate yesterday when we were speaking is the hiring of Steve Hyden, who was a former tight ends coach, former assistant offensive line coach at one time, getting this offensive line group right. While they weren't perfect, certainly. No, they weren't perfect. They're the only team in the NFL this season to start the same five all season long. They're the first Jets team to do that in 14 years. Long time. So the offensive line, got to give some credit to old AG for that hire. Of course, we always talk about special teams, banjo, little banjo action, special teams. spectacular. Again, I give a lot of credit to Isaiah Williams. Aaron Glenn knew Isaiah Williams in Detroit, where they crossed over, and then brought him here eventually to replace old X Xavier Gibson. So talent, he had an eye for talent that he said, "Oh, this Isaiah Williams kid has it." A couple of years ago, he's the team MVP this year. So good talent identification from one AG. Got to give him some credit for that, of course. So that's what I like. Aaron Glenn, the head coach and scout and GM. He sort of holds a lot of hats here for the NYJ. But, Jake, as I've told you before, that when this question is asked, what does Aaron Glenn do well as a head coach? Obviously, the answers are limited. Even for the most optimistic guy, the answers are limited, of course. They were just 3-14. So, obviously, not much. Not much. There are things he does do well, but not many things. Obviously, this season was not good. But the things he does well, to me, like I said, the Steve Hyden hire, I like a lot. It had an immediate impact on the offensive line. That's good. And I also like this. This is another biggie for me. For something to happen and the ability to admit that you're wrong. For instance, one of the big things I've heard from Jake, whether it's on ESPN New York, I listen to Jake all the time, whether it's Jake on ESPN New York or his Jake Asman show or anywhere, is he does not believe that there's an infrastructure in place to develop a young quarterback. And I would tend to agree. The infrastructure is questionable at best. But again, I go back to a thing I like about AG to see something is wrong and be willing to admit a mistake and not just double down on it. For instance, Charles London. We all think Charles London stinks. He's technically the quarterback's coach for the Jets. Technically speaking, he's a quarterback's coach. But he's a former college running back that was a long-time running backs coach, and then like 5 years ago, he just randomly became a quarterback coach, and several NFL teams employed him in that role. And now, according to all reports, AG is expected to move on from Charles London. Great news. He's seeing what we're seeing. He agrees that the infrastructure is not in place. So see you, Charles London. And that he's considering making a veteran offensive hire addition. We'll see who that is. But he's swimming in the right waters. The things that we in the audience are criticizing AG for, he is fixing them. Isn't that an encouraging sign? I think so. Again, and then go to several facets of this where AG made a decision. He didn't like the results and pivoted. Kicker, right? Harrison Mevis, Caden Davis. He decided to go young. He's like, yikes, this is looking bad. Let's get Nick Folk. Nick Folk has an outstanding season. Kicker. Nice. Defensive tackle. They go through the whole offseason. We're good with Jay Tufele and Derek Nadi. Oh, wait a second. This group sucks. Let's make a pivot. Harrison Phillips, Jawan Briggs. Good decision. So the ability to see things, they happen poorly, and then he changes the script. I like that. And the ability to adapt or die. I like that from old AG. Yes, that's another feather in the cap for one AG. Now, AG has done two things that have fueled the fires of the Jake Asman and any other Aaron Glenn detractors out in the audience. He says stupid shit, and he's made some management issues. But I think the stupid stuff is the things that's really feeding the flames. So Jake was, I don't know how to describe upset, passionate, whatever you want to call it. And then AG says stupid shit, and it lights Asman's fire even more intensely. Like, for instance, when AG, they're like, hey, what's something you do good? He's like, oh, we haven't had a field goal blocked all season. And then Jake's like, oh, what a stupid thing to say, which is true. That is a stupid thing to say. That's not what I would have highlighted. Or give us an example of your brand. And then he highlights that random point in the Jacksonville Jaguars game. We're getting our teeth kicked out our throat. I think there were much better moments this season he could have and should have selected to select his brand, which is running the football and pummeling someone in the mouth. Like, for instance, I would have picked, if it was me, the first drive of the primetime Patriots game on Thursday Night Football, where the Jets went on like a 10-minute drive and just beat the shit out of the Patriots and scored a touchdown. That's our brand right there. Here we go. Justin Fields was the quarterback at the time. I believe that was his final game as the quarterback for the Jets. And they just went right down the field. Bing, boom, bam. Eat that, Patriots. And we went, oh, shit. Okay. Here we go, Jets. We've arrived. That's what, if I was in AG's position and I was asked that question, that's the series I would have picked. Oh, you want to see our brand? Right friggin' there. So he picked a stupid moment in the Jaguars game. That was stupid. And again, feeds the flame of a Jake Asman of like, like he says stupid stuff. And he says it all the time. You go back to the arrogant stuff. So James says like, oh man, why do fans care if AG says like, or he goes after the media? Well, it's when it comes full circle. That's the only caveat to what James called in earlier and said about the AG stuff that I'm like, that looks bad. So like when we go back to training camp and the Will McDonald thing, it's coaching, to like say Will McDonald has some power moves to go with his finesse. Obviously it's coaching like, hey, look at us. We're good coaches. And he indicates that Robert Saleh sucks. Like those don't look very good at all, obviously. And just sort of his bravado. Now, there's a twofold part to this. First off, to be a head coach, you have to have bravado. You have to be confident in yourself. If you're not confident in yourself, you're not going to do very well, and players on a roster are going to sniff that shit out. So you have to be confident. But there is a fine line between confidence and arrogance, and he had a couple of Aaron Glenn had arrogant moments in the staff where you play back those clips and they sound really stupid. So I can't defend all of that. It's impossible. It's impossible to defend all of it. But those are a lot of the things that I like. Maybe I'm about to scroll down because I have not scrolled down in a while in the comment section to see how you guys are responding to the things I'm saying. Some of you may say, yeah, I like what Paul's saying. Some of you are going to be like, those aren't things I agree with. Then, well, here we are. But those are some of the things. The ability to admit mistakes, and we have a lot of examples throughout the season of where that pivoted, in my opinion. So that would be on my list of things I would suggest, is an ability to admit mistakes. Yes, he does need to win games. I agree. Yes. For sure. I see Jake is interacting with a lot of people here in the comment section. That's lovely. It's great to have Jake in here. Jake says, I'm seeing him responding to comments from the fans. Hope he does prove me wrong. I would love to be wrong. I'm at so much egg on my face, it's not even funny. All right, there you go. There you go. From old Jake. Nice. It's good to see. We got a Ash Jake in the chat right now. That's great. Shout out to Jake Asman here on the program. Yeah, so those are some of the things that I would say. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got Easy here on the show. Easy?
Well, first I have a message for Jake Asman. I
Okay,
believe
he's in
100%
here, so
in
go
your
ahead.
assessment. I believe 100% in your assessment. This is going back to Zach Wilson, where people are hoping and praying and thinking that he's going to turn it around. No, he stinks. He fucking stinks. And we have an opportunity to get a world-class head coach, and we're going to let this fucking jackwad continue to ruin this team for another year. Are you fucking kidding me? And I have another complaint to make to that caller 2 or 3 ago who said not having an interception was a fluke. How the fuck are you going to have an interception when our defense sucks so bad that all the receivers are running wide open? Why should a quarterback take a chance and make a risky throw when he's got 5 open receivers on every fucking play? That's coaching. Oh my God, that wasn't a fluke. No quarterback had to make a risky throw or try to throw into coverage against us because everyone was fucking wide open. Oh my God. This guy couldn't coach his way out of a wet paper bag if he went in the bag and it was already fucking wet. There are some guys that are superstars in the league that can't coach. Let's see. Mike Singletary was one of the best of all time at his position, and he was a disaster as a head coach. So just because you're a coach doesn't mean that you can fucking think your way out and make things better. It just doesn't work that way.
Can you just run me back on that? You said if HE couldn't coach out of a wet paper bag if he went in the bag and it was already wet. Can you explain that one more time?
He couldn't coach his way out of the wet paper bag if he went in it when it was already wet. Meaning it was even twice as easy to fucking break out, but you can't break out.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, yeah, I sort of.
I mean, if you go into a dry paper bag, it's a little tougher than a wet one. Think of toilet paper. Could you hold wet toilet paper in your hand? No. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Hey, by the way, James called back in. You guys can chat it up.
Ed.
Yeah.
A question for you. So after Quinnen and Sauce were dealt, right? What exactly were your expectations as far as the defense was concerned. The two supposed best players on our defense gone, right? Then we had injuries on top of it. AZ Thomas, I forget what week it was, but that's neither here. You mean to tell me that it wasn't a fluke that a ball didn't fall into our hands? That's insane. We had so many opportunities. All right, don't tell me that there was 5 guys running free, and that's the only reason. Come on, the ball did not fall our way, not once.
I watched every play this year.
So did I. So did I, Ed. So did I. And
then, well, maybe you need stronger glasses than I have, because all I saw were guys were wide open all over the place. All over the place, guys were wide open.
But what is the talent is what I'm trying to say. Look at the talent.
Why should a quarterback risk throwing into coverage if he doesn't have to? Would you, if you have 2 open guys, are you going to throw to the guy with tight coverage?
No.
There you go.
No.
Enough said.
It's not enough said. It's not enough said.
I made my point.
You gonna let me talk?
No, because I'm telling you, Sauce Gardner only covers 1 guy on the field.
Okay.
Okay. There are 3, 4 others
what happened?
Running wide
and Brandon
open.
Stevens and Brandon Stevens, right? The other corner on the other side, right? How was his year? It was decent. He got better as it went along. It was decent.
Look.
Go ahead.
It's not a fluke. It's bad positioning of players, bad scheming, bad coverage, bad coaching.
You could be on the sideline calling plays and an interception would occur. That was insane. Look, I want someone to fact check this. Name me one franchise in NFL history that didn't have an interception all year. Is there one? Is there one?
The New York Jets.
Exactly.
With this coaching staff.
Because of the coaching staff. How about the talent on the field?
I guarantee you the players couldn't stand this coaching staff. I guarantee
Steve Wilkes?
Steve Wilkes or Aaron Clemson?
Steve Wilkes is gone.
Well,
and Chris Banjo seems like a pretty damn good special teams coach to me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, good. He should. Maybe they should have elevated him to head coach.
Hey, by the way, we got a super chat coming in.
Wow.
I know is when you have a chance to get a guy like Harbaugh and you totally just dismiss that chance, then you're not doing yourself a service. Plus, if we got Harbaugh, what's the more likelihood that Linderbaum would come over to follow his coach?
That's a bunch of – that doesn't matter. Money talks, all right? Money talks. If we want to get Linderbaum and they offer him the money, he will come.
Why would Linderbaum come
here?
Wait a
second. Why is Linderbaum attached to John Harbaugh?
But CJ Mosley, you just said, why would he come? You said, why would Linderbaum come to a losing situation? Why did CJ Mosley come? We were losing back in 2019 and he came. Money.
But we weren't a fucking disaster.
Obvious reason. What?
We weren't a disaster then.
I think I heard you.
I know. I hold dumpsters.
I think I heard you a couple weeks ago say everybody has a price. So whether John Harbaugh comes, Linderbaum can come, all right? So you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Why would Linderbaum come here when he can go to any other team with a winning record and a good head
coach?
But that's the same thing with Mosley.
Listen, let me tell you something. I would rather play football and have fun.
How old is Linderbaum? He's 26. He's not 34. He's 26. He's still looking for that contract.
Why should he waste his fucking time? Why should he waste his youth and his prime playing for a shit team? Would you?
Wow.
The fact of again, just to reiterate, right? Like CJ Mosley came to the Jets, were a disaster. 2016 is one of the worst seasons in Jets history that no one talks about. 2015, we're like, oh my God, 10-6, we're right there. And then 2016 came up, and then all of a sudden everything folded like a huge lawn trader. Was terrible. And then 2017. 2018, the tanking, trying to tank for Sam, and then 2019, boop, CJ Mosley, $85 million. That's why he came. We were a terrible team, and he came. By the way, the super chat from our guy, Fastest Food Reviews, a.k.a. Chef Kevin Gilbert, says, this year's EZD will be electric like his call. Oh, hey, all right. We'll see if EZ's there. All right, beautiful. Great super chat from our chef Kevin Gilbert, which, by the way, real quick, 3 raffle tickets for you, chef. Appreciate it. Back to the phone lines. Hop on Pop joined us.
Hey,
Pop.
hey now. Here it is. Here it is, Coffee Club.
Oh, wow. That's nice. Look at that.
Here it is. Get it now. Get it now.
Nice. Sure. YouTube description down below, folks. Boy Green new merch shop. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to get this in case by the time I come on Saturday that the ship has sailed.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Jets need to go all in. They need to fire. I listened to a good chunk of your show yesterday after the show. I followed it up afterwards because I was working. But you're the 2 ways to go about getting Harbaugh is all in, being wide open, or all in trying to be behind the scenes. And you said you're worried about Aaron Glenn and what would happen about getting him butt hurt and stuff like that. I don't care. There is 20 coaches out there. So you are going with the premise that he might be good. Maybe it could happen. Right. And the answer is he's terrible.
Just to clarify, you said which path would you go down? So maybe you don't believe those are the only 2 paths. I would
fire Aaron Glenn today and start the coaching search with Harbaugh as my number one prospect.
And if you missed out,
then I'd go hire Mike McCarthy, who's a much better coach than Aaron Glenn. We know that. We know that. We do. You're deluded. You have no idea what Aaron Glenn is. You have Aaron Glenn derangement syndrome. You have Aaron Glenn derangement syndrome. That's what you have.
Okay.
You can't face the facts. I'll give you 4 facts, and then I'll.
Can I give you a fact?
No, in a minute you can. Right. The lowest receiving yardage leader in the history of the Jets was this year with Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Right. And to say that the ball didn't bounce your way because you get interceptions, those happen occasionally, but most interceptions happen through talent and scheme. That's how they happen. They don't happen from a bobble. And
not even
Aaron
a bobble.
Glenn, the worst losing percentage per game average almost in the history of the NFL. I don't know why you're defending this guy.
Okay.
So go all in. That's all I'm saying. That was my message. Go all in.
Okay, a couple of things here. First off, I would say the majority of interceptions, while sure there could be talent and scheme, there could also be, and this is this thing I'm about to say is crazy. Why the Jets didn't at least get one, because a lot of the time we all think when we're watching a football game. I'll go back to we watched a Cowboys-Bears game together, Dad, maybe 12 years ago, and the Cowboys were playing the Bears on like Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football. And Tony Romo threw a pass to his left, and it got pick-sixed by a Chicago Bears defender. And everyone who's watching the game goes, "Oh, Jesus, Tony, what are you seeing, you blind idiot?" And then we're like, "Oh, wow, Des Bryant ran a stop and go when it was supposed to be just this. So he ran completely the wrong route." Yeah. Tony Romo trusts that his receiver's going to do what they've been practicing all week. He doesn't. Pick 6, and then up Tony Romo. Although the generic audience will just blame Tony, like, what an idiot!
Right. You're not playing in the street where Johnny go to the car. I'm gonna throw it.
Right. There's play. There's zebra XY40. He's supposed to run this play at this depth, at this angle, all that other stuff. So I think the fact that the Jets didn't get an interception, where a team could have just simply made that mistake. Hey, red alert, and the guy's like, Blue Cobra, gotcha. I'm running a go instead of a stop. And then at some point that didn't happen for the Jets is like crazy.
That is amazing.
I would not just say that interceptions are simply scheme and talent and look how dumb and scheme and untalented this group is.
There's definitely a breakdown.
All kinds of things.
There's definitely a breakdown. Neil, the average NFL fan that goes back to Super Bowl 30 and Neil O'Donnell costed the Pittsburgh Steelers another win is an idiot, right? He calls a hot route a line of scrimmage. The receiver doesn't hear it, ignores it, doesn't know what he's doing, and somehow Larry Brown with 2 picks is a Super Bowl MVP. Who never played it won him a lot of money. He got a big contract. He's the Flynn of cornerbacks, if you will. For one game, he made millions of dollars. But it was more, he's just standing there and the ball was thrown to him. I can't believe they gave him the Super Bowl MVP. Anyways.
Right. And then one more thing I just want to, and this is on Harbaugh, okay? So apparently, according to Connor Hughes yesterday on their Jets SNY digital TV show, the Jets have zero interest in John Harbaugh. And that's just going to incense fans in the audience that want Harbaugh. Like, what? How could you possibly say that? Again, to me, we have reached a point where the Jets have made a decision. Woody has been unwavering in his support of AG, and this reiterates that support. I don't care what's out there. I'm going with my guy. And to me, I like the conviction from the ownership that he has made a decision. He's sticking with it. He's not being swayed by public opinion, as that is a silly thing to be swayed by, and that he's not being swayed by a new name entering the market and questioning his own initial decisions. He has made a decision. He's sticking with it, and he's trusting the plan. It seems like a lot of people in the audience are not trusting the plan, which is fine. They don't have to, but that's what he's doing. I respect the conviction. I respect the fact that he's made a choice and he's going with it, and they're going all in with it. And no, I do not want to just fire Glenn, hope for Harbaugh. Everyone wants Harbaugh. We don't get Harbaugh. Go, well, all right. Well, we'll just sort through the mix. And to go back to your Mike McCarthy thing that I didn't say, is he a more proven coach than AG? Obviously, AG has a 3-14 record, and Mike McCarthy has a insert whatever winning percentage, which is great. But the thing we don't know about Mike McCarthy, can he develop a quarterback? In both situations that he's been in, a quarterback has been there already. Aaron Rodgers was there in Green Bay. He won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, won a bunch of games with Aaron Rodgers. In Dallas, Dak Prescott, while everyone loves to hate Dak Prescott is a very talented quarterback that was just there. Mike McCarthy did not have to develop Dak Prescott. He did not have to develop Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
they were just there, and they were presented, and he won a bunch of games.
Quarterback. It's not the role of a head coach to develop. It's not the role. It's not the role of an NFL head coach to develop a quarterback. I advocate for signing Cliff Kingsbury. He could develop a quarterback, right? John Harbaugh, his playoff record by itself is better than the NFL, than the New York Jets history. Wrap your head around that. One coach, his playoff record is better than the entire history of the New York Jets, and you're not interested in him.
What is his expertise? He's a special teams coordinator. He has no offensive expertise, no defensive expertise. So he's coming in to establish. So he comes in to establish what? He just got fired from the Baltimore Ravens because, according to Ian Rappaport, he lost the locker room, and in player exit interviews, over half of the roster apparently told ownership, "I question," the players saying this, "whether I want to play for him next year." That doesn't sound like the guy want to rush to go higher.
I got a fun fact for you.
I love fun facts.
Every single head coach that's ever been a head coach in the NFL has been fired.
I know what you're going to say.
Has been fired.
Yes.
Right. Yes. 18 years. His playoff record is 13-11. You know what the Jets is?
I do.
Yeah. So he's better than the Jets. His win-loss percentage is better than the Jets. It'd be a mistake not to get him. That's my opinion. You have yours. God bless. I'll see you Saturday.
Deuces. Wow, that was something. There's a super chat shout out from Philium. Let's get this in here.
Wow.
Member for 18 months. Does anyone have confidence in AG, not hope or faith? Does anyone have confidence, not hope or faith? I don't know if anyone can answer this question with an emphatic yes. Philium. Obviously. Well, the only people that can, I imagine, are not going to be doing a show with me. Woody Johnson obviously heard the plan from AG and he bought it. They talk all the time. And then Darren Mucci is part of that brass, and they talk all the time. And they are confident. Oh, AG said, here's my plan to fix the Jets. Bing, boom, bam. Quarterback this, that, this offseason. And apparently Woody's like, sounds good to me. Mucci's like, yep, sounds good to me. And now they're moving forward. So I think the people that can answer this question are in the building and not out here. I have hope and faith that I believe he can. But yes, there is a lot of hope and faith there. There's no question about it. So, but the people who could answer that question, yes, I don't know if they would join us on our show. Let's get one more call in. Troy joins us here on the show. Troy?
Hey, BG. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, pal?
Hey, first off, John Harbaugh had one hell of a GM that surrounded his team with terrific players. And like you said, he was a special teams coordinator. That's how he got his job off the bat, was his special teams, which our special team coordinator, I hope he don't go nowhere.
Yeah, me either. Yeah.
But the question I brought up earlier with Josh McDaniels. Now, I'm here to tell you, I'm not a Josh McDaniels fan, but it was just a hypothetical question. Look how the offense was in New England. When he left, was it? I believe he is offensive coordinator with Mac Jones.
Yes, that's correct. The first year
Right.
Pro Bowl leaves and Mac Jones is terrible. That's correct. Yeah.
And then with Drake May's first year, how'd he look? He didn't look great. I mean, he doesn't look like he does now.
Yeah, right.
So,
definitely not.
and as what I was thinking was, there's no lateral trade. We can't buy him into being our offensive coordinator. But the fact is if we hire him to be our head coach, but stipulations is you are the offensive coordinator and you build your team around that, that would be, and like I said, it'd be a double whammy on New England. So anything on that would be great for me. But like I said, I don't want anything to do with Harbaugh, just like some of the things that are coming out about him, which may or may not be true.
Right. Yeah, we don't know. That's fair.
And, with the whole fact that half the team was against him, the other half was for him. I mean, we may have that in our locker room right now. We don't know.
Who knows, right? Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's all I was getting at. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Just kind of a fun little future little hypothetical. But
I appreciate that. Thanks, Troy. You're the best.
Love the show,
Appreciate it. Thanks, brother. You're the best. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that you love the show. I'll finish off with a couple of comments here. I just want to highlight real quick. And unfortunately, to the other people waiting on the phone lines, we won't be able to get you on here. We got to go to another interview. But a couple of comments here. Fighter Jets says, Boy Green, you have to be trolling right now. What is his expertise? You officially lost it and have lost all credibility with regards to football knowledge. For people who don't know, John Harbaugh, is a former special teams coordinator. He is not an offense coordinator. He's not a defense coordinator. People highlight like Sean McVay. Wow, he's an offensive mastermind. And that's like the craziness he brings to the table. I'll use Brian Flores, who used to be a head coach. People say Brian Flores, his defensive mastermind helps him figure it all out and trick people. Like he plays chess and other people can't play with him. The fact that you can't answer Fighter Jet or anyone for that matter. What is his expertise? He doesn't seem to have an expertise in one area or another. So he's just coming in as the CEO. And again, he is being accused of in Baltimore having a terrible culture that everyone doesn't want to play for. So the expertise that is championed to bring him in seems a little lacking. Now, I want to address this obvious question here. NY Jet Fandom says, Paul is delusional. He thinks AG is better than Harbaugh. I never said that AG was better than Harbaugh. So anyone that's painting that is nonsense. I didn't say that. I haven't said that once. Not a single time. That's not the decision here. They're not both free agents, and I'm choosing to sign one or the other. One has been here for 1 year, and one is a free agent. I'm not guaranteed to get Harbaugh if I fire AG. I am not willing, let me make this as bluntly clear as possible. I'm not willing to fire AG for the chance at Harbaugh, which is a low chance because we're probably not going to get him and he's going to go somewhere else. And then, so let me just say this straight. I am not willing to fire AG for the chance at Harbaugh. And if I don't get Harbaugh, I'm cool. We'll get somebody else. No, I'm not willing to do that. There are not a lot of candidates in the market to me that I'd be like, oh, clearly I feel great about that person. I don't want any first-year people. All those people are eliminated. They're in the same boat as AG. First year, no idea what they're going to be. No thanks. First-year guys out. I've explained why on Mike McCarthy as a reason why I don't want him. He has no proof of concept of developing a quarterback. And that's a big piece if you're bringing him in as this offensive guy, which would be the reason you're bringing him in is for his offensive expertise. But his offensive expertise has not been proven without a proven quarterback. Dak Prescott proven. Aaron Rodgers proven. He's done it with proven entities. That, again, is something that I talk about. So I'm not delusional. Well, I may be delusional for a lot of reasons, but I'm not delusional for that. I don't think AG is better than Harbaugh. But we don't have the choice between AG or Harbaugh. You're making it seem like that choice is obvious, and Paul's not pressing the red button to make the switch. That's where I think we're getting it lost. And then we go to this extreme point of Hennessy says, fuck it, let's just let AG blow his 5-year contract we can take every year. Whoa. Again, Paul didn't say that either. I'm just saying, why don't we give him one more year? Because that's what the Jets are going to do. That's what they are doing. I'm not saying something crazy. They're not going to fire him. And I'm like, please wait, don't give him one more year. They are choosing not to fire him. And like I said, it goes full circle here to this. So that's where I'm sort of lost here on that. And 1 second, folks. Okay. And okay. There we go. We've got an interview to go to. So people, so sorry for all the callers that are waiting on the line. We'll have to continue this tomorrow. We will have another long show tomorrow because of Bob Lederer joining us on the program. So if you have calls to make, that will be the time to do so, folks. Make sure you guys on the way out, like the video, hit subscribe. Appreciate the passion. Whether you agree or disagree with me, it's always a wonderful time. So appreciate it. Like the video, hit subscribe. We'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.